Good evening and hello and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel, where I am passionate about helping victims of all ages, all genders overcome the fear of facing the abuse to become survivors. Because over here we know that the power is in the survival. Power in the survival. Over here we stand up, we lift our voices for justice for the victims. And over here we are using the umbrella of justice for Shanquella Robinson to stand in agreement for that so we can join forces because we believe by getting justice for Shanquella that we will be able to leverage that power and be able to get justice for past and to decrease significantly future incidents of this horrible victimization that we have been getting through as a society. And I'm just excited because the last time we got together, recently we had a slight setback, but a lot of times these setbacks really be setups for situations, and with that setback, it came to my thoughts of getting political. We was made aware that there's going to be a march May 19th in Washington, D.C. And I'm happy to report that I shall be there. I've gotten my ticket. I've purchased my ticket to be in Washington, D.C. May 18th to be a part of the march that's going to happen on May 19th. However, y'all, there is no space where it's saying what time is the march, or any of that kind of stuff. So if anybody knows, I see my lady out here, Giselle, who usually be on the up and up and in the know with all this stuff. Somebody please let me know what time, but I'm there, y'all. I already got the ticket and I'm excited to be, diving off into, these politics and stuff. And, who knows, maybe we're going to be part of the generation that gets a Shanquella Robinson law passed, where it's a law that protects U.S. citizens from being murked in another country, and the people get to run back home to America and, like Sue Ann Robinson say, I'm on base, I'm safe and untouchable. So I'm just excited. And thank y'all so much for coming out here tonight. I see y'all coming in. Please do me a favor and hit the like button on your way in the building. Hit that like button. Give me some thumbs up. Thumbs up the video. Share the video and all that. Because what we're doing over here is we are keeping it hot for Shanquella. We're keeping it hot for Shanquella Robinson because those were some of her last words that we heard her to say, that she's keeping it hot. And now, since they've gave us a sucker punch in the gut by saying that there's no case here, that there's going to be no justice here, that, here in the good old US of A, we had so much hope and so much hope. I know I had a lot of hope and, expectations here with this U.S. government, and to have them even be more disrespectful than Mexico had been previously to that, really has pushed me to want to, do this whole justice thing. So I'm excited about going out there to be part of something. I've never been a part of any type of nothing like this before. So here we go for the march. And I want to challenge anybody else who is in a position to get out there to Washington, D.C. and march in participation with this whole thing, standing for justice for Shanquella Robinson. Please feel free to join me. Or if you'd like to help in other ways, you can support my efforts going out there, like I said, to strengthen numbers and all that stuff and unity, everybody putting putting energy, in one basket, one good old platform. This here become a channel member and support. And what I'm going to do is when I get out there to Washington D.C., I'm going to be doing some backstage overage type stuff out there where I'm going to give y'all play by play on all the good stuff to do out there. And I'm going to do, some research on, how, all that stuff. I'm going to be encouraging people to vote and all that stuff. Something that I never thought I would be political. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 52 years old. And so I'm a proud Gen Xer. I'm proud to be a Gen Xer, a schoolhouse rocket, a chip off the block, favorite schoolhouse rock. That's how I got down where we Gen X, we came from that, right? Where we reading, writing, and arithmetic all day, every day, right? And so that's how we got down with facts and all that stuff. So over here is what we do: facts, science, and math. So I'm 52 years old, proud mother of 3 adult children with over 30 years of nursing experience. So I'm a mature woman. All right, so here's the link to join the channel right there. And I'm grateful that I'm welcoming the people up in here. What's up, Jamie? Jamie is coming in saying, hello, my beautiful RN and fam. Hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, I hope everybody is doing well too. Like I said, I'm super excited about this. Also, there was kind of a march that they did for Shanquella today, or was it yesterday? Today is what, Thursday, Wednesday? I work the night shift, y'all, so sometimes my be a little off. But I think yesterday, because today is what is today? Today's Thursday. So yesterday, I believe it was Wednesday, just a dozen people. So, we need to stir it up more because we are starting to fizzle down. So it's time to put another log on the fire. I remember back in the day, you go out camping or something like that, and we used to build these little bonfires at the beach. And, when the fire starts to kind of die down, you searching out, you're seeking wood so you can put some more wood on the fire to keep it going. So that's what we got to do here. We got to put another log on the fire and, turn the juice back up. What's up, Karen? Karen says, good evening at All Around At Your Beauty RN and everyone joining us. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button as we join for a call for justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yes. And one of the reasons why we, wanted to do this call for justice is because for them to be so permanent with there's nothing that could be done, pretty much telling us all to throw the towel in, that, there's not going to be any justice. And now, Mexico is like, oh, no comment, and, keeping it pushing and stuff like that. So we definitely want to, keep it high. Yes. And Giselle, so I don't know, some of y'all who got a little bit more experience with this whole marching on the government and all that kind of stuff, this is the time where we need to be putting our heads together so we could, be effective. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. We're here to all put in the talking together and stuff. Giselle says, what's popping in, my beautiful family? All right. Yes. Y'all, thank y'all so much for coming up in here. So today, what I said was talking about, we're going to talk about, a march and all that stuff. I did a little bit of research on how to prepare for the march. However, one of the things that I could say that maybe, they did the things where they were on the news, Shanquella's family and mother talked about the march, however, didn't really announce the time or the meeting place. So if somebody knows that, drop it in the chat so we could start, promoting it, because May 19th, that's exactly a month away. And so sometimes, not knowing where the meeting place is at and all that stuff, it could make for a small turnout, which is what I felt like they had in North Carolina. They said like 12 people, 12 people. That's real. That's not a lot. What's up, Natural Beauty Aria? Hey, what's going on? How you doing? All right. So welcome everybody. Like I said, if anybody do know when and where, please feel free to share that with the group. But I'm just excited. I got my ticket and I'm going to be doing it. I told you about my first little opportunity down in Washington, D.C. The year was 1988, and I was a mere 17 years old, and I had won a trip the previous year from the dating game. I was on the dating game. I'm at 16, and I chose Bachelor number 2 when I should have chose Bachelor number 3. Bachelor number 3 was a way better choice, but I was so nervous because I was on TV, and when the time come to pick, the Bachelor, I picked number 2, and number 2. Yeah, number 3 was tall. He sang to me and all that stuff, but I didn't remember none of the stuff. I had my mom in the audience, and she was supposed to, flash me some fingers on who to pick, but I didn't know that they had plans set up to make sure that you're not able to do that, because I guess that would be considered cheating. So anyway, when the questions were all over, they go to commercial break, and then you are surrounded by, I guess, the producers or whatever with their little headphones on and the microphone. They snatch you up out of the chair and turn your back to the audience and say, who's going to be? And so when they did that, I didn't have the opportunity to look out into the audience for mama to throw up the fingers. So I just picked a number. At first I said number 1. And then I heard them, get on the microphone and say, okay, she picked number 1. She's picked number 1. And so I'm like, number 2. All right, she changed to number 2. And then after that, that was all over. So I had to pick number 2. And when number 2, first, after I picked number 2, they let you meet the ones that got away. Number 1 was, unremarkable. I don't even remember about number 1. But when number 3 comes walking across the stage, he was everything that I dreamed of. He was tall. He had sang to me. He had answered all the questions correctly. Number 2 was not the one. And then when he walked out, anyway. We didn't even get along. So the trip that we won, long story short, was to Washington, D.C. So we went to Washington, D.C. And so I'm excited to go back to Washington, D.C. 30-something years later, now with a good cause, a good cause. All right. So Karen is saying hello to everybody. Y'all with some greet. Hey, what's going on, Betty? Betty's in the hizzy tonight, says hello, beautiful RN, and everyone. How are y'all all doing tonight? Yes. So, like I said, last week, it was a sorrowful, week. It was very frustrating. And it was frustrating for me because when I would hear the mom, how you can see she's just been gaslit so much that, they're confused about even what happened. Like, heard her to reference it as a fight, right? As opposed to an attack, because of all of the lies and all of the misleading information that they put up in there. And, so one of the things that we're doing over here is, like I said, we do moments of speaking. We want to empower victims to lift their voices to become survivors. All right. So what's up, Melanie? Melanie Blair says, hey, are in justice for Shanquella and her family. Yes. Super sad that, even with all of, the video evidence that we saw, and having, Attorney Ben Crump on the case, and Sue Ann Robinson on the case, and all of the YouTubers and just the social media presence, just to show how we still have a lot of work to do for women's rights and women's voices, because I do believe that a lot of the reason why we're not really getting any justice for Shanquella, and that we're having to really, do more stuff like Sue Ann said, a high level of diplomatic intervention is needed. And obviously we see that that is the case. And that is one of the reasons why I feel that we have to get political, because if we really start to lift our voices by exercising our voting rights, we can move mountains. We can move mountains. We can move mountains, right? And instead of, just complaining but not doing anything, like how many of y'all are registered to vote, right? Because not voting has not been effective. So let's just see what happens if we all really focused on voting. I remember back in 2008 when President Obama was running for office, and it was monumental how many people, Black people, not only registered to vote, but actually came out to vote. It was the first time in my lifetime that I had ever seen, the line to vote to, be so long, and to see so many people out there. And that's what we need to do, y'all. We need to do this kind of stuff and think about the people that we are voting in, the things that they support and don't support, right? Hey, what's going on, Shay? Shay is coming in, giving great tens to everyone. Yes. So I'm just excited, y'all. I'm excited, and I'm a little, I'm just excited. I'm excited. Like I said, I've never done anything like this before. Marching for something, and really feeling like, like I said, I'm 52 years old. Maybe it's just time for me to do more than just talking. And then, like I said, I was telling y'all how, I just kind of like being in my own little space. I don't keep up with the news. I don't watch TV. The music that I listen to is stuff that I grew up listening to. I don't really know any of the new people or any of that stuff. So I was really surprised to see and hear like all of the stuff, the the agendas that's being pushed and promoted out there to, people, especially our young people and all that good stuff. So I'm just excited. I'm excited. And Giselle Payapps is, of course, saying what's going on to Karen. Everybody's greeting folks up in there. One of the things, too, that Giselle has been diligent is promoting the petition, the petition for Shanquella. And I don't know, maybe I could do something to hand it off to the people to show. I don't know, whatever all we could do, like I said, I got my ticket. I've got the golden ticket. And, like I said, putting all the stuff together. What I'm wanting to say is that instead of like all of us, everyone individually trying to do something because, you want your name out there, something like that, it's always better to combine, right? Instead of separating and stuff, right? You double up, and it's stronger. So Giselle, please make sure we continue to get that petition out there, dropped and signed. So that's something that we could say, look here, we got over 30,000 people saying we want justice for Shanquella, right? So I'm just grateful that lots of people are saying that they ain't gonna tolerate this stuff. No, they're not tolerating it. And I think I saw Giselle to try. Here we go. All right, here we go, y'all. This here is the petition. Oh, are we at 40,000? Yes. Okay, cool. All right, then. All right, cool. This is awesome, y'all. So everybody, people, if you haven't already, please sign it. Let me see if I can pin it. Let me pin it over here. It's going to be pinned to pin in the chat here. Sign this petition. I'm super proud that we're at 40,000, over 40,000 here, y'all. This is great. So, sign this, share this to promote it and all that stuff. Like I said, so this would be something cool that we could show, the people. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I can get a pic or something. I may be able to be in touchable radius of them and coming, bringing the names of, over 40,000 folks to, be a part of this whole thing. Right? So I'm just super excited about that. And thank y'all too for all the new members and stuff like that. Folks was coming in, joining here. See, Anisha says the decision is racially charged, hands down. But now it's in God's hands, so that justice will be given to Shanquella Robinson's name and family. Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah, all right. Hey, we got the folks coming up in here. Let me see here. Tamika, what's going on? Tamika says hello and blessings to all the beauties. Yes. So, we coming in, we're going to be coming in strong. And I'm loving that, everybody is, doubling down. Let's see. Giselle says, my peeps, if y'all haven't signed yet, please do. Yes. I'm really impressed with this 40,000 because, last time I clicked on it, I think we was like at 30 something, right? We was in the 30s. So that's great, that we had a surge like this to, keep it hot. That's right. So we put another log on the fire. Another log on the fire. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And in our last meeting, another shout out to the people that came up. I know Sharon came up and gave her testimony, and other folks came up too. La Jessica, we had a good time. People were able to express, and we had a good time. And I can tell at that time I was considering, going out there. So, since then I got the time off of my job and also booked the flight and stuff like that. And the rest of the stuff I'm going to be putting together, playing by ear as I go along, as far as like, where to go and all that good stuff too. Because I want to, we're going to be the state capital. And this time, so I won't be with boring bachelor number 2, I could really take advantage of going to some of those spots, right? So I know there's lots of, different things out there and all that good stuff. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Giselle said, that's right, RN. All right. And y'all just really support me so much. I really appreciate all of the love and support and the comments, to, keep the channel going and all that good stuff. For justice, for Shanquella. All right, so we're going to get started with our acts of faith, and then we'll dive into our first point. I want to talk about how to prepare for the march and all that good stuff, and we'll go from there. And yeah. All right, so Acts of Faith, book written by Yana Van Zett, copyright 1993. It is daily acts of meditation for people of color. However, we know that it's going to be beneficial for all people. And April the 20th. All right, so April the 20th says, the one who asks question doesn't lose his way. And that is Akan proverb. And Yana says, because we don't want to seem stupid, uninformed, or feel belittled, we don't like to ask questions. For some reason, we think we are supposed to know everything when we don't. We don't let anyone know. Questions are not a sign of ignorance. They are an indication that you are broadening your scope, sharpening your skills, improving your capabilities. Inquiries indicate humility, the willingness to serve, share, and support. Questions keep you on track. Define and broaden your boundaries and remove limitations. Questions put you in touch and keep you in touch. Questions create and build resources, both natural and human, which can be very useful when there is no one around to answer your questions. Your ego, the nasty little voice that is over concerned with what other people think, will tell you not to ask questions. Tell ego to shut up and then ask what you need to know. Who, what, where, when, how, why. Yes, 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 yes. And I know sometimes I could be guilty of not, asking questions too. Like there, maybe some stuff I'm not really certain about. And, you just kind of keep it to yourself and then maybe go Google it behind the backs, right? All right. So, yes, Giselle was saying we are making progress. Yes, we are. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all come on in here, hit that like button. We talking about justice for Shanquella Robinson over here. There is going to be a march in Washington, D.C., where we are hoping to get some high-level diplomatic interventions in place. We are going down there, to let the president know. I'm just talking because I only heard the mom say that there's going to be a march on May 19th. When I went to look for some information, I just only saw that they were going to march on May 19th. However, I did not see an address or a time. So I don't know. Like I said, it'd be my first time marching on Washington. Is there like a special address where all the marches are at? Like, how do we know where's the meetup spot? Does anybody know? I don't know. So I tried to Google, and like I said, I didn't get no address. We need justice for Shanquella now. Yes, we do. Thank you. Said we ain't stopping. Yeah, because ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Got the groove. Yeah. Ain't no stop. We ain't giving up. That's right. So we got all kind of songs in our repertoire of motivational songs and all this stuff. No, we ain't giving up. We ain't stopping. We ain't doing that stuff. Justice for Shanquella. Thank you, Betty, for lifting your voice. And a lot of the comments y'all been leaving, super great, super great, super great, super great. It is racially charged. Yeah. And that's another thing too. So a lot of the things that I'm facing is like, not, keeping quiet. Like I said, over here, we don't do moments of silence. And so these are things that I having to remind myself of too, as far as like, keeping quiet, because this is how these abusers continue to abuse us, because most victims will be quiet, right? Don't say anything. So they keep quiet. And then that just kind of enables the abusers to continue to abuse. So racially charged, yes. So we know that the value of women is low, and the value of a Black woman, unfortunately, is even lower. So these are things that we're having to overcome. That's why it's important that we let the world know that we do value our beautiful Black women. We do. That's right, RN. We will keep it hot, hot. Yes, keeping it hot. What's up, Janet? Janet. Hey, so Janet says, hi, RN. I'm not having a good night because I just lost my uncle. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I get a lot out of your channel, so I decided to still come into the chat tonight. Thank you. Y'all please drop some hearts and roses in the chat for Janet Jenkins right now. Embrace her. We love you and support you. All right, I see some hearts going up in there. I want to see, light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up. Yes. And we embrace you and thank you for sharing that with us so we can, support one another. We support you, Janet. Thank you so much for all of the attention that you brought here and continue to bring here, even in your time of grief. And thank y'all so much. I see them hearts. That's right, y'all. Yes. Praying for you, Janet. Yes. So I don't even have to say nothing. The beauties know exactly what to do. Yes. All right. So y'all are, hey, what's going on, La Jessica? La Jessica from back in the day, one of the OGs here to the channel. Yep. And Janet is giving her appreciation to Jamie. Yes. I'm so grateful for y'all. Beautiful chat over here. Like I said, over here, we started with the respect in the chat and sticking to math and science and all that good stuff. So one of the things, like I said, they're trying to change the narrative by hoping that with passing time that people would forget the original offense. Original offense. Original offense. Yes, got prayers and condolences out there. But because of these videos, we have that to go on. So Janet, we got a lot of love and support here for you in the chat and people coming here. See, Janet says, thanks everyone for the prayers and love. I knew this chat would help to uplift me and I appreciate it. Cool, cool, cool. And that's what we really, when I started back in November, this was our little space that we were coming together, to show support for one another and all that good stuff. And that's what we've been doing. We still building, even when we had the little gremlins coming in here trying to be destructive and all that stuff. And like I said, we went to the word and Matthew 25, where we went over the scriptures with letting the tares grow with the wheat. So, we were able to weed out a lot of the, crapola stuff. And now we left with the strong, right? Strong few is better than a bunch of, weak-minded individuals. Karen says at Jenna Jinx, I am so sorry that you lost your uncle. Sending prayers. Yes, we are. Yep. Thank y'all so much. Oh no, we definitely don't do that here. We only do moments of speak, math and science with you, our beautiful RN. Thank you so much, Giselle. I appreciate all of the support. Yeah, and that's what we're doing over here too. So, I was online today. I was trying to look to see if I could pull up the old death certificate. It's in some of these videos, stuff like that. But what was eye-opening for me was that it didn't easily pull up. It didn't easily pull up. So like I said, they are definitely trying to submerge or keep a lid on it. Keep a lid on it. Yes, you rock and roll this matter the way it's supposed to be. Yes. Thank y'all so much. Yeah. So we got our acts of faith out of the way. People coming into the chat, hitting the like button on the way in here. And we first gonna get started with some of the things that, one of the things we're going to be doing before we make this march on there. I don't know. I guess what I wanted to do was maybe look to see if they have like a site or something like that. What are they doing to promote it? Because I feel like, we need the numbers on there. So maybe one thing they could do is address everyone with the actual address and the agenda, like what we're going to do is there an itinerary, or the time and place, right? So we know it's the 19th. That's why I went on and booked for me to get there on the 18th. That way, in case it's an early morning or something like that, at least I'm already there. So I'm hoping that they were going to come up with more details. That way, once we promote it, if you can promote it by giving people, more precision, like a time and place, may have a bigger turnout. So maybe they could use some help with the promotion of this whole thing. Like I said, they said it was only like a dozen people that was on the march yesterday. They just had signed. So maybe the promotion is being blocked. People were leaving comments saying that some of the people out there is connected, and that's why this whole the FBI, this is from the Charlotte FBI, and that's why they're kind of like hiding it and saying that there's no case, but this isn't like the federal. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How y'all feeling out there? How are y'all feeling out there? So let's see here. Let's go on and do we'll do a video or something to read from today's news. Oh yeah, we'll do this one here. This here, it's actually the protest or the march or the gathering that they had call for justice. That's what it's called here. So let's go ahead and share that. We'll get started with that. Yes, okay. So this here was from WFAE. Never heard of them. But it's local news or news here from says calls of justice for Shanquella, illicit cheers, cars, horns in Northwest Charlotte. All right, so this was yesterday, like I said. Published April 19th, right? So this guy looks like the guy that was part of the march when they went to Washington, that last time in March. All right, so it says here about a dozen people. A dozen, right? Look how our numbers are dwindling down. Our numbers are dwindling down, right? So this here to me shows how, the air or the wind was let out of the sail when they said they weren't going to, pressing each or, hold anybody accountable. So it says here about a dozen people stood on the corner of Beatty's Ford Road and La Salle Street on Wednesday afternoon, holding signs and leading chants of justice for Shanquella. Dozens more joined them by honking their horns and cheering out their car windows as they drove by. The demonstration took place a week after the U.S. Department announced it would not seek federal charges. The U.S. Department. I know somebody was saying that this was only the Charlotte, but this is saying the U.S. Department announced it would not seek federal charges in the death of in the death of Charlotte native Shanquella Robinson. The 25-year-old West Charlotte High School graduate died on October 29th, 22, while vacationing near Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with 6 other people. The Justice Department said it reviewed an autopsy performed in Mecklenburg County, as well as other investigative materials before making its decision not to pursue any U.S. charges. The Mecklenburg autopsy found no evidence of spinal cord injury and categorized Robinson's cause of death as undetermined, contradicting an earlier autopsy performed in Mexico that listed spinal cord injuries as the cause of death. I wonder why they are directly contradicting the spinal cord injury. Why? All right. At Wednesday's demonstration, local activist Mario Black said he and others were disappointed with the announcement from the Justice Department, but remain hopeful that an arrest would still be made. Mexican authorities have issued an arrest warrant for a woman believed to have been traveling with Robinson in Mexico, and local activists have cited as potential evidence a video that circulated online showing Robinson being attacked and beaten by a woman in a Mexican villa shortly before she died. Black said he hoped the U.S. would take the woman named in the arrest warrant to custody and extradite her to face charges in Mexico. Look how we went backwards, right? Before we had name, all this stuff. Now, going back to this vague stuff here. They're trying to erase all of the evidence. And extradite her to face charges in Mexico. It's unclear if Mexican authorities have formally requested an extradition. Now we're going back to this being unclear when they said that they had, requested the extradition. Black said he and other activists, as well as attorney for the Robinson family, plan to protest in Washington D.C. on May 19th to keep pressuring U.S. officials to make an arrest in the case. Okay, so here is a lost opportunity. Why here don't we have the place and time? Like, is there like a, traditional space? I don't know. Do I need to Google where did we meet to march in Washington? Let's see. Where is the meeting space for Washington marches? Let's see if anything comes up with these questions. Let's see. Okay, conference meeting spaces in Washington. No, see. So there, I don't know. So, but anyway, this here is a lost opportunity because, let's see, is this sign up for this? No, that's a newsletter. I don't know. So, I don't know. March 19th, but where and where? Where do we go? Where do we go? Anyway, did anybody know or drop it in the chat? Y'all don't know either? Nobody knows? Okay, so let me... Nobody knows. Nobody cares. All right. So I don't know. Do they have like a like a website or something that we can get more information? So that's one thing, like more organization is needed, so we could be more effective. I don't know. All right, so okay, here comes something from CNN. Let's see what this is happening over here. Here is our next share. Our next share is this here, right here. All right, so this is from CNN. All right, and see, when did this happen? This happened, Wednesday, April the 12th. Wait a minute, how could this be from April the 12th? Oh, because, is this when they said they weren't pressing the charges, April the 12th? Okay, I guess that was what, about 10 days ago, 8 days ago. Okay. All right, so this here's old then. Well, last week. U.S. prosecutors tell family of Shanquella Robinson they won't pursue charges in her death in Mexico. CNN. All right. CNN. Federal prosecutors told the family of Shanquella Robinson on Wednesday that the evidence they have isn't enough for prosecutors in Robinson's death last year in Mexico. The U.S. Attorney's General Office for the Middle and Western District of North Carolina said, oh, okay, so here we go. All right, so this here is the local, like a local office here. Robinson, a 25-year-old former student at Winston-Salem University in North Carolina, died in October while staying in a luxury rental property in the Mexican state of Baja California Sur. Based, okay, so this is in quotations here, based on the results of the autopsy and after a careful deliberation and review of the investigative material by both U.S. attorneys' offices, federal prosecutors informed Mrs. Robinson's family today that the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution. The U.S. Attorney's Office said in a release Wednesday. Family members are very deeply disappointed in the decision, but are not deterred, and plan to continue to seek justice for Robinson. Their attorney, Sue Ann Robinson, said at a news conference, Black and brown people always have to carve their own path in justice. Attorney Robinson said Shanquella Robinson was a Black American from North Carolina. A copy of Shanquella Robinson's death certificate obtained by CNN affiliate WBTV listed the cause of death as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, which is instability or excessive movement of the uppermost neck vertebrae. The document stated she was found unconscious in the living room of the rental residence on October 29th. The death certificate classifies Shanquella Robinson's death as accidental or violent, noting that the approximate time between injury and death was 15 minutes. Video posted online appeared to show a physical altercation inside a room between Shanquella Robinson and another person. It's not clear when the video was taken or if the video depicted the moment she suffered the fatal injury. At the time, Bernard Robinson confirmed to CNN that his daughter, seen in the video being thrown to the floor and beaten on the head. It's unclear what led to the altercation or how many people were in the room at the time. It's also unclear if anyone tried to intervene. The FBI conducted a detailed and thorough investigation of the evidence and worked with the Robinson family to conduct an autopsy in the United States by the Medical Examiner's Office in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, the release said. Federal officials met with the Robinson's family and representatives on Wednesday to offer their condolences and present the findings of the federal investigation, the release said. Wow. According to Attorney Robinson, the family was told that the FBI interviewed Shanquella Robinson's travel mates and people who were in the house, but did not specify how many people they interviewed. Okay, I didn't know that. The officials told the families that the autopsy, which was completed after Shanquella Robinson's body had been embalmed and transported back to the U.S., revealed no spinal cord injury, but did show swelling on her brain. Although the cause of death is still said to be undetermined, the attorney said. I just don't believe we got to see that the autopsy, because it doesn't even, it's supposed to list a cause of death, right? Because when did the heart stop? When did all these different things, that is the cause of death, right? It's going to be either a respiratory or cardiac, like which one of these things happened. So this here is baloney. I don't. All right, let me just finish up here. Yeah, I'm almost done. All right. The attorney criticized what she considered a delay on the part of the U.S. investigating agency, saying they waited to investigate until their own autopsy was conducted. There was no swift action on this case. There was absolutely no urgency on the part of the U.S. authorities, Sue Ann Robinson added. If you wait till 5 months after someone committed the crime, they would, okay, wait a minute. So here go a lie right there. All right, so make up the mind. For the autopsy that they put out there had a date of 11/17. So now y'all saying that it was done 5 months later? Wait a minute, let me pull up this autopsy real quick. All right, okay, man. All right, let me here. All right, what is it here? No, that ain't it. All right, just give me 1 second here. I think this is. No, that ain't it. All right, 1 second, y'all. I'm about to pull it up right here. This gotta be it. I wasn't trying to get it, but since I just read that, like now I have to go to show that they made a here's the lie, because the lie is here because they said they listed on the autopsy from the Mecklenburg folks. It said November the 17th. Right? So according to this story, let me go back over here. According to this story, is it? According to this story, it says if you wait till 5 months after someone committed a crime, they would have the opportunity and time and space to delete text messages if that's what they wanted to do. All right, so we know this is a lie because back then the news was reporting, even on the Nancy Grace thing, the guy said that all they've pulled the IP records, and that this was back in November. So they didn't wait all this time. Apparently, according to even the Wikipedia report, when we read that, the FBI got on the case November the 17th. So this is a distraction to tell us that they waited 5 months to do all this stuff so it could look like, they waited too late to do anything. But according to reports that was reported back in November, the FBI got on the case November the 17th, right? We was waiting on them that they supposedly pulling the IP records to the phones and all that stuff. So how can y'all come back now and tell us that, they waited all this time? They were supposedly have done the autopsy, according to the date on it, November the 17th. All right. If you wait until 5 months, someone they would have opportunity, time, and space to delete text messages if that's what they wanted to do, to talk to each other about the case, the attorney said. Federal officials said they do not normally issue public statements about the status of an investigation, but in this case, they felt it was necessary because of the public concern surrounding the case. It is important to reassure the public that experienced federal agents and seasoned prosecutors extensively reviewed the available evidence and have concluded that federal charges cannot be pursued, the statement said. Prosecutors in Mexico said last year they were investigating Robinson's death as a femicide, a crime defined as the intentional murder of a woman because they are women. In most countries, including the United States, femicide is not different from homicide in criminal law, but Mexico is among at least 16 countries that have included femicide as a specific crime. The family plans to hold a march to the State Department. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, here go our address here. Where am I at? Okay. The family plans to hold a march to the State Department headquarters, Washington, D.C. on May 19th, the 20th day since Shanquella Robinson passing. What? May 19th, the 20th day? What does that mean? On May 19th. Oh, the 200th day. I'm so sorry. The 200th day. Wow. That is a lot. That's almost a year. Day since Shanquella Robinson's passing, according to the family's attorney. The message cannot be that U.S. citizens can go overseas and commit crimes against other U.S. citizens and come back and say that they're on base, that they're safe, that they're not going to be arrested, that there's going to be such a delay in the investigation that the evidence will have to dissipate, she said. Now, see, this sounds more like explanations, right? They're preparing us for why the case isn't going to be solved. All these, reasons, these rationales, right? By giving an excuse. Oh, they waited 5 months before they checked, and so the people deleted all the messages. But did y'all forget that y'all told us that the FBI got on the case back in November the 17th? So they didn't have 5 months to delete any messages. And we already, even if they did delete messages, the government got ways to go back and access all that stuff. They got ways. All right, I mean, Tanya, you finally found it. All right, we got TCDC in the hizzy who has become a channel member. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. And now you get the nice little sizzle by your name, and I see you out there. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, so this is all suspicious. This seems like they are working together to, paint this picture. Because even if they deleted everything, they got ways to go back and see all the stuff. You can't delete this stuff. And if they had started to pull these IP addresses back in November, they didn't wait. They didn't do all these things. These seems like plausible alibis, plausible reasons, plausible rationales for why, they're not going to be able to do any justice. They're giving, Federal officials said they do not know. Okay, I already said that. All right. It is important to reassure the public. That's what they said there. I already said that. Prosecutors in Mexico, I said that too. Okay, I'm down here. The message, I read that. Okay, so that's it then. That's it. I don't trust none of them, y'all. I really don't. I don't. This is all smells fishy. Janet Jenkins said the FBI in North Carolina said that the criminals told them that Shanquella got up and went into another room and fell. And they automatically believed them, even though they were known liars. Yeah. My thing is, if the their own autopsy is indicating swelling on the brain, that is the cause of death. How come that's not the cause of death? Right? That's all bologna sandwich. Bologna sandwich. Bologna sandwich. Bologna sandwich. I think I think that's also a fake autopsy report. And let me see if I did I no MD no, okay. All right, so I need to pull that up. It may have just been emailed to me. What's up, Sweet Capricorn? Sweet Capricorn said, and even though there's videos, how they explain the questioning about attacking her. Exactly. Exactly. We already saw that. Giselle said, that's because they wanted us to believe the lies that lie about in the autopsy, not knowing that we don't play. We just don't play with it because we ain't believing that nonsense, period. That's right. Tell them. All right, we got some more folks coming up in. PM Channel says hello at All Around Natural Beauty RN. Moderators in the chat. Yes. Hey, what's going on, Diane? Diane says, okay, thank you. Here we go. That's the address for the thing. 05 1923 in Washington at the Department of State. They really need to go straight to the governors who running the state of North Carolina. Yep. All right, cool. Thank you so much, right? We need that. At least I was looking for that. So I'm going. For those of you who just joining up in here, I got the ticket going to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to be, representing We Beauties over here on the channel. Natasha says, hi, Natural Beauty in chat. So glad a march was set up for justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yeah, me too. Me too. Super grateful for that because, like I said, I've be a first time for me, and I'm excited to start to get political and all that good stuff. Ready to get political. All right, so let's get political. All right, so maybe I stuck it on this. Yeah, they got all these bones up in here on a lot of stuff here. Shanquella Robinson family still demands answers 5 months. What is that? No. Yeah. 5 months later here, we still in this horrible position. So I'm gonna go here, and I want to say somebody had emailed it to me, the autopsy for these. Here we go. Okay, so right. No, that ain't it. All right, so I'm about to pull up the Mecklenburg County autopsy report here. All right, wish I could make this bigger. All right, so, and we're gonna look for clues. Looking for clues on this here autopsy report. All right, so this here whole cause of death undetermined. They're supposed to list, let me see, I got another, like the thing that they're supposed to have on here. Let me see if I can find that. What that list is. Cause certain things that's supposed to be listed on this here document, what that is. Let's see, is that it here? All right, so a cause of death is typically supposed to be on an autopsy report. The cause of death is the underlying medical condition or disease that directly led to the person's death. It's important to note that cause of death is not always immediately apparent and may require a thorough investigation, including a review of medical records, toxicology reports, and other relevant information. The autopsy report will also typically include the manner of death, which is the circumstances surrounding the death, such as homicide, suicide, accidental, natural, or undetermined. The cause of and manner of death are important pieces of information that can help inform investigation and provide closure to families. So, supposed to be a cause and manner of death, all right? It is not on this here. Here's a cause, right? It says cause of death undetermined. See summary and interpretation section, right? Where's the manner of death? Supposed to be on this autopsy report. Cause and manner, right? So we go down here, it says date of final report, April 12th. Wow. Date of exam, 11/17/22, right? 11/17/22 at 0900. All right. So let me just hold that thought right there. Hold that thought. All right. So while I'm doing that, y'all hold that thought. Let me go back over here. Oh, I want to pull up the Wikipedia. I'll pull up the Wikipedia for let's see, let me get rid of that. Close that. All right, I'm gonna pull up the Wikipedia for Shanquella Robinson. Okay. And it's gonna tell us when when the FBI got on the case. All right, so here we go. Wikipedia. All right. So let me share again. So the thing said, the autopsy report from Mecklenburg said November the 17th, 2022, right? Here is our Wikipedia. So Shanquella Bernarda Robinson, January 9th, 1997, October 29th, 2022, was an American businesswoman, founder of a woman's fashion clothing line, hairstylist, and social media personality from North Carolina, the United States, who was murdered, right? They said murdered. Who was murdered while on vacation in Mexico. Let's see if they got the date on this. But anyway, I remember I read this on the live back in November. I think it was like November the 26th, something like that. So this was written then, and they were calling it a murder. While on vacation in Mexico, she died on October 29th, 22, shortly after traveling with a friend and a group of loose acquaintances to the Mexican resort town of Cabo San Lucas. There was considerable public interest and intrigue surrounding the cause of death. In addition, substantial collaborative efforts of citizen journalism and amateur news bloggers played an important role in bringing attention to Robinson's death, to the point of Mexican authorities facing enhanced scrutiny, particularly because the municipal police department initially treated the death as a case of conventional tourist alcohol intoxication. So if Mexico was treating this as tourist intoxication, how is it that Mexico had performed an autopsy on October 30th on an American Black woman tourist whose family had not even claimed the body, right? On October 30th, when they're saying here that it was an alcohol intoxication, right? That's how we know that autopsy report that Sue Ann, got from Mexico is a dry bologna sandwich. A video later surfaced which showed Robinson being attacked in a rental villa prior to her death. The circumstances leading to her mysterious death, as well as the medical treatment, police report, and forensic inquiries into the cause of her untimely passing have led to an ongoing, high-profile, transnational criminal investigation with the United States and Mexico. All right, here's the background. Robinson was a graduate of the historical Black college, Winston-Salem State University. She ran several boutiques, beauty and children's hair braiding businesses under her Exquisite Kids and Exquisite Boutiques brand in her hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina. On October 28th, 22, Robinson traveled to Mexico for a short vacation with a friend and 5 travel companions, 3 women and 3 men, some of whom have been identified as Kylie Cook, Malik St. Patrick Dreyer, Winter Essence Donovan, Elise Michelle Hyatt, Dejanay Jackson, and Nazir Wiggins. Wait a minute. Okay, says some of whom. So this calls out all of them. So who is some? Why is this some there? Some of whom have been identified. Some is not all. So I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with the one blank space for a mystery name, right? Because this says some of whom have been identified. The group checked in to a rental luxury apartment in Puerto Los Cabos Resort at the resort town of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Death. On October 29th, a day after the group's arrival at around, wow, okay, so, okay, all right, so it's been months since we read this. At around 2:13 p.m., a doctor from the American Medical Center. All right, let's see what this gets us to. All right. All right, nothing. Okay. Let me go on back there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, we get back to our spot, y'all. All right, where is it? All right, go here. Ooh, okay, we doing something here. All right, let me get back over here. I got it over here. Let's see here. I got it over here. I got it right here. Y'all over there, how y'all doing over there? Okay, all right. Okay, so let me scroll on back down here. We're here to death. All right. October 29th, a day after the group arrival at 2:13 p.m., a doctor from American Mentor Century, Cabo San Lucas was requested because a resident at the resort was feeling unwell. All right. So this is saying the doctor was requested at 2:13. All right. At around the same time, Shanquella's mother, Shanquella Robinson, received a phone call from one of her daughter's travel companions saying that her daughter had taken ill and that a doctor was on the way to tend to her welfare. Dr. Carolina Beatrice Arneles Gutierrez from the American Century arrived within an hour and found a female in stable condition, but dehydrated, disoriented, verbally unresponsive, unable to communicate, and appearing to be intoxicated. Wow. Listen to this grim description, right? This is not stable. A female in stable condition, but dehydrated. Dehydration is problem there. Disoriented. If you are disoriented, you are not stable. This is not a normal state to be in, being disoriented. This is dangerous. Right? Verbally unresponsive. This is serious. This is critical. Verbally unresponsive. This is not stable. This person is not passing the initial assessment. Disoriented. How do they know that you're disoriented if you are verbally unresponsive? How have they How can you make this part of your assessment of someone being disoriented if they are verbally unresponsive? You can't validate their orientation. You can't say that they are alert and oriented times anything if they're verbally non-responsive, unable to communicate. So if they are verbally unresponsive, unable to communicate, this description does not make sense. It's impossible to render this diagnosis of disorientation if they're not communicative and appearing to be intoxicated. The explanation given to the doctor was that Robinson drank a lot of alcohol. The doctor recommended that Robinson be admitted to the hospital, but her travel companions insisted she be treated at the apartment room. This here is a medical emergency. Any medical professional who arrived and a person is verbally unresponsive, unable to communicate, you are calling 911. There's no checking them out, doing nothing here. And this person is supposed to be in an American center. This ain't what the concierge said in his report. He said he called the doctor. That's the doctor for the villa. Right? Anybody remember that? Right? So here we got a difference of story. Now this here Wikipedia story came out back in November. This was already out. All right. During medical treatment, the doctor attempted to administer an IV drip. Where did the doctor get an IV drip from? However, Robinson's condition worsened when she suffered a tonic-clonic seizure. Do y'all remember back in, November when they were saying that she had the seizure and pooped her britches and, all that stuff, right? Remember that? So here it goes here. A stiffening of the body, arms and legs, as well as sphincter relaxation, spontaneous defecation, right? Because remember back then they was trying to paint the picture that she, died of the alcohol intoxication. So that explains the tonic-clonic seizure. And then they threw in all these details to paint the picture, that this is what happened, right? Then recently, have we heard any more about this? No. All right, so they got some timelines here. Okay. So around 4:13 p.m., about 1 hour after the doctor's arrival. So they are placing a doctor on the scene working on a patient that is unresponsive and cannot communicate for an hour. There is nowhere in the history of anything that a physician is going to be working a house call for over an hour when they would have easily, quickly transferred the patient to a hospital where they could receive the proper care. What is a lone physician going to do to treat a patient who is unresponsive? Right? Lies. An ambulance was called around 4:20 p.m. after Robinson began having trouble breathing. With her pulse dropping as well, Robinson then suffered a cardiac arrest. Wow. Ambulance paramedics called to the scene around 4:49. So it took the ambulance 29 minutes to get there. That's an awful long time. Like, where were they, out secluded somewhere? That's an awful long time for emergency response. All right. So ambulance paramedics called to the scene around 4:49 p.m. tried to resuscitate Robinson, administering 14 CPR rounds. Okay. Right. So let's okay. All right. So when the ambulance arrived, here we go. I'm so grateful that we get a chance to go back. When the ambulance arrived to the scene, let me just pull myself up here so I can get up close and personal. When the ambulance arrived to the scene, they're not running the code there. They are getting the patient set up to transfer to the hospital. They are not going to do 14 rounds of CPR in the field. They are getting there. They're making the assessments. They're checking to see if they've got, a shockable rhythm to do the CPR. They're administering the CPR, right? While they're pushing the gurney to the truck. You got the person driving the truck. You got the other one in the back doing the CPR while they're riding to the hospital. They're not performing it there. That's not how this goes. These lies are making it obvious that they're lies. This is not how it goes. If they arrived at 4:49 p.m., it may have taken them 5 to 6 minutes to get set up with all the gear, make the assessment, determine if person needs CPR. If we start in CPR, we're not staying here. We got to be moving because we're going to run out of supplies. We need more hands. We need more hands. So we're not doing it here. We're putting you on the gurney and we transporting to the hospital. We're calling the hospital. We're en route with a patient who was found down, possible alcohol intoxication. But they want us to believe that they sat there and did all this work at the villa. A doctor spent a whole hour there before. Look at all this negligence, right? All this negligence. Robinson administered 14 CPR rounds of cardiac vascular compressions and intrathoracic pressure to her chest in an attempt to reestablish venous blood oxygen saturation and blood flow. What? This is jabberish. This makes this blah 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 blah. Okay? They just found a couple of words threw up in there, as well as injecting 5 doses of adrenaline and 6 electrical discharges from a defibrillator. However, they were unable to revive any return of heartbeat, pulse, blood flow, pupillary reflexes, or other human vital signs. So with the 5 doses of adrenaline, all right, so there's a whole list of other drugs that go with the CPR. That's why I'm telling y'all, they weren't doing this on the scene, right? These are all lies. This is impossible that they were able to put some defibrillators and actually administer some shocks if she didn't have a heartbeat. Impossible. Shanquella was declared clinically dead at 5:57 p.m. according to the police report. Again, here go that clue again. Police report, right? All this is a police report. That's how you can tell, because this doesn't even sound medical. Venous blood oxygen saturation and blood flow. Police report. Police officers Omar and David of the Los Cabos Municipal Police Department were the 2 first responding officers at the scene around 5:25 p.m. Why were the police there before she was declared dead? Why are the police there? Why would the police come out to a medical emergency and be there almost 30 minutes before the person is declared clinically dead? It says here, clinical death is the medical term for the cessation of blood circulation and breathing, the two criteria necessary to sustain the lives of human beings and of many other organisms. It occurs when the heart stops beating in a regular rhythm, a condition called cardiac, and then it just kind of cuts off there. All right, but anyway, clinically dead at 5:57, but the police is on the scene at 5:25. Why are the police on the scene? Why are the police on the scene? Right? If this is something medical, what the police doing there? Since when the police show up when somebody called the ambulance? They were briefed by Dr. Ornelas Gutierrez, who informed the officers that medical treatment was requested for a young lady who had ingested too much alcohol. She briefed the officers that she had found a female in stable but unresponsive condition. A doctor would never say that a person is in stable but unresponsive condition. If you're unresponsive, that's not stable. It's not stable to be unresponsive. Right? And that she had planned to admit her to the hospital on an IV line, which her travel companions objected to, claiming they instead requested that the young lady be treated in the hotel room, after which her condition worsened, even after arrival of ambulant paramedics. I wonder who wrote this here, Wikipedia. This here with these words, ambulant, doses of adrenaline. Sounds fishy. But anyway, admitted to the hospital on an IV line, which her travel companions objected. And again, when are the doctors listening to lay people? The doctors have too much pride to listen to some lay people tell them how to do their job. There's no way. There's no way. After Robinson was declared dead, the investigating police officers notified the General Prosecutor's Office, Attorney General in the state of Baja California Sur, reaching State Attorney Julio Daniel around 6:35 p.m. and informing him of the death of a foreign citizen. They were instructed to file reports and investigation forms before handing the case to Minstrel Police. Based on eyewitness accounts and after consulting with Dr. Ornelas Gutierrez, the police report concluded that a deceased person, cardiopulmonary arrest, had died of alcohol poisoning and that she died 2 hours and 45 minutes after the doctor was called to the residence. So why would a doctor spend 2 hours and 45 minutes on the scene? Were they stranded there? Like there was no transportation to get to a hospital? Right? Doctors don't take the time to care for patients. They make the assessment, make the diagnosis, the plan of care, and then they're done. There is no time in the history of anything that a doctor is going to give 2 hours and 45 minutes to one patient. Physically doing the care for a patient. This is fake. This is fake. She died 2 hours and 45 minutes after the doctor was called to the residence. There was no observations of internal or external injuries in the police report. Based on this police report and the investigation of the Mexican authorities, the U.S. State Department initially released a statement reporting that Mexican authorities said there was no clear evidence Robinson was murdered. Coroner's report, right? Oh, looky here. On November 5th, a notarized English translation of Robinson's death certificate based on autopsy report and forensic doctor Renee A. Galvin A. Segura from the Secretariat of Health, Baja California Sur, dated November the 4th, 2022, was released. The autopsy reports describes Robinson's death 15 minutes after suffering a severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, which is a dislocation or separation of skull base from the atlas bone, the first bone of the neck, spinal column. The forensic doctor made the following forensic observation in the official autopsy report. Date and time of death, right? So, just this little part here. Date and time of death. Where is that? Let me just flip over here. We're going to do a little bit of flip-flopping here, right? Let's do some flip-flopping. Let's flip some flops over here. Let me see here. Where my flip-flop. There we go. Let's flip-flop over here real quick. Flippy-flop. Wait and see it. All right, so flip-flop over here. What is missing? Where's my mouse? Oh, here we go. What's missing over here? Right? Dating list, no date or time of death. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Let me see here. Here we go. All right, okay. The decedent is a 25-year-old female who, by report, was on vacation with other persons, friends in Cabo, Mexico, where she was reported to have been heavily consuming alcohol. Like, come on, all this information, part of an autopsy, these reports, this is all hearsay. This here is an indication that this here is a dry bologna sandwich, where she was reported to have been heavily consuming alcohol. Right? Why are we putting out these hearsays on here when it's not going to be shown in no type of toxicology report? So why are we putting this alcohol, this up there? This wouldn't be part of it. On October 28th, continuing until early hours of 10:29. She was also assaulted in the morning of October 29th at approximately 7 to 7:30 local time. So how they know what time they talking about the time that she was attacked up here, assaulted rather. But look at all this here. Where is the time of death listed, right? It's not there. That's not there. It's not there. All right, so let's go on back over and finish up this Wikipedia. I just wanted to show y'all real quick how these clue pieces are missing on this here bologna sandwich autopsy. Where is it at? Where's the time of death? Where is it? All right. So date and time of death, that's part of it, right? Cause of death. They could have listed on their autopsy that the cause of death was the brain swelling, something, right? It's not undetermined. They had injuries that they listed. The brain swelling, right? Approximate time between injury and death, 15 minutes. Situation, circumstances or reasons in which the injury occurred. Person found unconscious in her living room. Was it accidental or violent death? Yes. The autopsy report mentioned neither cardiac arrest nor alcohol poisoning. Investigation. U.S. Department of State. Oh, okay, I have the dates wrong. It says on November 16th. I thought it was the 17th, but on November 16th, the U.S. Department of State responded. They were aware of the incident, releasing following statements. We are aware of these reports. Protecting the welfare of U.S. citizens overseas is among our top priority. Out of respect for the privacy of those involved, we have no further comment at this time, the department stated, right? So that's back November 16th. That's what they said. Families' doubts and of conflicting accounts, all right? As Shanquella Robinson, Shanquella's mother, disclosed during an ABC News Good Morning America interview, her family became suspicious of the claims of her daughter's travel companions after each one of them returned with a different story, and each story with inconsistencies. Some of her travel companions claimed a maid found her unconscious. Some reported they called a doctor. Some saying the apartment concierge called the doctor. At first claiming Shanquella had died of alcohol poisoning, and a few days later admitting that there had been a fight, that she was fighting and she had been jumped. Regarding the location where Robinson was found unconscious, her travel associates raised further confusion and skepticism when one told her mother they found Shanquella unconscious on the floor. Another one claimed they found her in a bed, while another travel companion simultaneously told her father, Bernard, that they had found her in a chair. Shanquella's mother told CBS News during an interview that her daughter's loose acquaintances, initially suggested her daughter had taken ill from alcohol poisoning, a diagnosis which surprised her since a doctor had not even arrived at that time. And since she had been told that a doctor was just on the way to their apartment, she remarked how she suggested that her daughter be taken to an emergency room, but her daughter's travel companion had lied to her, claiming her daughter's travel insurance was of no use in Mexico and that the emergency room required $5,000 in cash for her daughter to be seen. She recalled how further doubts began to surface when the autopsy report emerged showing the cause of death, a broken neck, instead of alcohol poisoning. During the interview with Queen City News, Miss Robinson also said her daughter's body showed obvious signs of trauma: a knot on her head, a bruised face, swollen eye, and busted lip after it was repatriated on November 12th, ahead of Shanquella Robinson's November 19th funeral service, which was held at Macedonia's Baptist Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right. All right, so if her funeral was on the 19th, nowhere up in here has they said that the FBI conducted an autopsy on the 17th, right? That's when they said that other thing was done on the 17th. All right, so here we go. Keep these dates in mind. Her body got back here on the 12th of November. For more than 2 weeks, the family attempted convincing authorities in the United States and in Mexico that their daughter's death was suspicious, deserving further investigation. It says for more than 2 weeks, the family attempted convincing authorities in the United States and in Mexico that their daughter's death was suspicious, deserving further investigation. In a statement by Robinson's family published to GoFundMe, a crowdfunding page raising funds for the family's legal fees, Robinson's sister, Quilla Long, announced the family will continue to investigate what happened. The United States Department released a statement claiming no clear evidence of foul play. Yet, there is a video circulating of a woman violently attacking Shanquella Long. Shanquella Long said, "This statement is unacceptable and we are beyond devastated. We continue to fight for the truth." So has this been updated? Because, yeah. Okay, so when we first read this Wikipedia back in November, all this stuff wasn't there. This is all added. This is new stuff here. Because here we got the journalist Zuinga. Oh my goodness. All right. So, all right. Local journalists first reporting on this case. Geraldo Zuinga, a Mexican journalist for regional news from Baja California Sur, began covering the murder of Shanquella Robinson in the Medio Metroplex MX, started covering the killing of Robinson after having published into Assassinations of American 73-year-old retiree Rodney Davis, who was kidnapped while hiking and camping on the out and back trail of Lorito, Juancalito, Baja California Sur, murdered, found dead, and DNA identified by local police. In mid-November 22, Mexican journalists covering that case were tipped off by local police that another American tourist, Shanquella Robinson, had been killed 4 days after Rodney Davis was murdered, and started hearing rumors about a video of the incident being shared among Winston-Salem students. Wow. Leaked video. Oh yeah, they didn't came back and added more to this. Beginning with a video of the incident being uploaded to Twitter, a wave of viral cell phone footage began surfacing on several social media outlets of a naked African American woman being viciously beaten by one of her female acquaintances in a bedroom of their vacation rental. Salamandra Robinson confirmed that it was her daughter being beaten in the video. In the video, an attacker in frenzied rage began to viciously punch Robinson, lobbing a series of relentless fist jabs to her head, beating her from one side of the large. Oh my goodness. They got this from, this is this is the same thing that John Q said on one of the videos. They is straight up copying. Straight up. They biting. All right, okay, let me go. Beating her from one side of a large hotel bed to another corner of the bed, while violently yanking her neck, throwing the victim onto the floor, delivering further furious blows to her face, and kicking her head with her knee before stumbling back. Wow. They breaking down the video, y'all. This was not all part of this Wikipedia back in back in November. Wow, look at how they didn't describe the whole thing here. Stumbling back to the other side of the room, ending her assault on Robinson. There were at least two other people present during the altercation. A male filmed the assault, and another person filmed the male capturing the event. Wow. They just broke down all the stuff we YouTubers were saying right here. The footage included a male who can be heard recommending to Robinson, "Quilla, can you at least fight back? At least something." To which Robinson responded, "No," indicating that she was not interested in fighting. The video, which was received with shock, incredulity, and revulsive on social media networks, subsequently raised questions about why not only nobody intervened in the beating of a naked friend, certainly most noteworthy, the brutal beating of a naked woman in the middle of a hotel room, but instead chose to record the beating on a cell phone. Voices in the media have also called into question why suspects or witnesses in a femicide or homicide investigation were freely allowed to return to the United States without any arrest or interrogation. Second Attorney General investigation. On November 16th, the State Attorney General Office of Baja California Sur reopened their investigation into Robinson's death as a possible femicide. Reopened? How did they reopen it on November 16th if they had just opened it on November 16th? On November 16th, the U.S. Department responded that they were aware of the incident. So if they're responded, they're aware, how are they reopening it on the same 16th? And to the death, Robinson's death as possible femicide, confirming investigations have revisited the crime scene. Confirming investigators have revisited the crime scene and were collecting more evidence to achieve the accurate clarification of the events. In a statement released to the press, they disclosed the state's Attorney General Office, Baja California Sur, carries out the field and cabinet proceedings to clarify the facts in which a female person of foreign origin lost her life on October 29th in a beach club in San Jose del Cabo. It is reported that last Saturday, October 29th, at approximately 6:15 p.m., he received a call from public security elements who reported that in a house in the Fonduras Beach Club subdivision in San Jose del Cabo, there was a woman without life. State criminal investigation agents moved to the scene where the first investigations were carried out under the corresponding protocol. Experts from the Directorate of Expert Services carried out the process of the place looking for clues that will be attached to the investigation folder. The PGJE maintains the lines of investigations to collect more evidence to achieve the accurate clarification of the fact without ruling out any hypotheses. According to local newspaper, authorities are also investigating the actions of the doctor, two officers of the local police, and the investigating state attorney with regards to negligence, official misconduct, and dereliction of duties as part of their inquiry. FBI investigation, okay? On November 18th, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI Field Office, North Carolina, confirmed it has also opened an investigation in the death of Charlotte resident Shanquella Robinson in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, on or about October 29th. Due to ongoing investigations, we have no further comment. Okay, so that's November 18th. Up here, what did we see? All right, so they got on the case a day before her funeral. So if they got on the case on the 18th, how did they have an autopsy report dated the 17th? Where is it? How did this happen? How did they have the body for an autopsy on the 17th? This is baloney. At 9 a.m. Right? They got all this information out here, but they not, matching it up to, they're not matching it up. They're not matching it up. They're not matching it up. All right, so let's finish up this here Wikipedia, which clearly states here that where am I? Oh, I had moved up. All right, so let's see here. Here we go. Oh, it's down here. Right, FBI. All right, so FBI get on the case on the 18th. Our investigation is completely separate from Mexico. I am not privy to anything they are doing, a spokesperson added. A group of agents from the FBI Charlottesville office were reportedly seen at the crime scene in Los Cabos, according to local news. So they're saying that the FBI went to Mexico. FBI went to Mexico to, check the crime scene. On April 12th, yeah, so this here Wikipedia has been updated to, try to seal the deal for us. Wow. But the good news is that, I can just go back to that live where I read off the first one before it had all these extra fillers into it, right? So here's the picture that they painted here. On April 12th, 2023, U.S. authorities announced they will not pursue criminal charges related to the death of Shanquella Robinson. Criminal charge of femicide. On November 23rd, Daniel De La Rosa Anya, Attorney General of Baja California General Prosecutor's Office, announced an arrest court order relating to femicide had been issued against a person identified as an American, the direct aggressor in the death of Shanquella Robinson. During a video interview with local newspaper BCS Nostrius Taurus. He clarified the cause of death, stating that Robinson did not die from alcohol intake or injuries sustained in a fight, but rather from a direct assault causing a spinal cord fracture. The prosecutor's office had approached Mexican federal prosecutors and U.S. officials to carry out all relevant procedures, issuing an Interpol red alert to locate the suspect in the United States. Okay, so they said on November 23rd. When we read the whole Mexican report, let me get a cool drink of water here. That she was captured and arrested. Was that on November the 23rd? Do I need to pull back up that old document? Anyway, we're going to keep chasing these lies. All right, so issuing an Interpol red alert to locate the suspects in the United States and working on formal extradition proceedings to extradite the suspects back to Mexico. The governor of Baja California Sur, Victor Manuel Castro Cosi, echoed the same sentiments. He reflected upon the beginning of the investigation when he had not the precise data on that occasion and that it had initially been reported as an accident in a hotel. But then the investigation turned out it was not, but rather a femicide. Local news reported that an arrest warrant had been issued for one of Robinson's travel companions, but to date, no one has been officially charged. Wow. Wow. Let's see what that say. How do I get this? Get down off of there. All right, so. All right, so new details and here. This here was posted on November the 11th. All right, let's get off of there. They trying to dog me here. Get off of there. There. All right. So this was back in November the 12th. New details emerging here. Charlotte family. See here. All right. Let me get some of y'all comments over here. Ooh, that was deep there. They just really come up with some new stuff there to, say this here stuff here. What's up, Melanie? Melanie B said, people are definitely going to think they can go over there and get away with taking a life. Yeah. That's why they went over there and did it, because they had already done the research. They already knew that, this was planned out and they was going to be able to get away with it, Very confident. TC said, I was finally able to join as I found my cards. Yeah, I was saying that too. Thank you too for your membership, Tanya. See, Diane said the FBI autopsy is bogus. I heard it was a video autopsy. Wicked. Yep. Yeah. I mean, just from what we just read here, I mean, like how many different stories, like it's so everything's, contradictions one after the other. Welcome to the club. That's right. Giselle here, OG member from back in the day. You see, Lena says playing with the people's emotions. Yeah. PM Channel says Charlotte FBI had no intentions of prosecuting this case, which is why they were silent for months. If they did not want the case, they should have allowed Mexico to extradite. Yeah. Yeah. I am an old member, but I changed my display name. Okay, that's right. And see, Janet says, right, RN, the FBI can get any emails, videos, and text messages that they need. They're clearly helping the 6-7 period. They just think that we're too stupid to know that. Yeah. Yeah, but they got us mixed up, though. Natasha says, I will call Al Sharpton's office to see if he set up buses to go to D.C. if is going. Yeah. Something, huh? I'm ready. Sean says, what were the toxicology reports? Where is the x-rays? Thank you. X-rays all they need. They don't even need no toxicology report. As they say in Missouri, show me. Yeah. Karen says, the options for an autopsy's cause of death are natural, accidental, suicide, homicide, pending, and undetermined. The ME took the easiest option. Yeah, they just telling us, like I said, this is your dry bologna sandwich, man. Big time. Thank you. Hey, what's going on, highly favored? Yes, we do need this justice for Shanquella Robinson. And, for those of you who just joining, there is a march May the 19th, and going out there. I've already got the ticket, and I'm excited. And we pinpoint the meetup place. It's in there somewhere on the where the march is going to be at. Somebody had dropped it off in the chat a little bit earlier. Says we're giving some more welcomes and all that good stuff. And hey, yeah, I know, where's the Jessica up there? Let's see. TCDC says, RN, what is the difference Atlas sublation and Atlas luxation? It was over my head, so I need you to put it in layman's terms. I don't know. Let's see here. Sub is usually below. So let's see here if they got some other at. Let's see, what am I looking for? Atlas sub. Let's see here. All right. Okay. So here we go. Oops. I don't remember seeing no sublocation on this. It says Atlas sublocation describes improper anatomical alignment of the uppermost cervical vertebrae. A sublocated atlas is theorized by NUCCA chiropractors to cause a diversity of negative health. So sub, I guess it would just be below. Because here would be the top part and then sub below. The combination of atlas and axis allows the rotation of the head. I'm just thinking it's just a position on here. This isn't really super clear on a real distinction. Atlas subluxation. Okay, so I see here alignment, and the other one probably would be detachment, maybe. See, sub. Yeah. Sorry, Tanya, I don't have any definitive answer for you. All right, so here. Let me see if anything else showed up for that. Yeah, chiropractors. Stuff here. I don't know. It seems like they just throw in some extra words in here just to cause some more confusion. All right, here goes something. Let's see what this say. All right, so this one is saying atlantoaxal subluxation is a disorder of C1, C2. So they're still talking about high level vertebrae, high energy traumas. I don't know. I don't really think there's much of a difference on this. Just some extra words to confuse us there. Let's see here. Tanya says, I'm thinking if going as I have a ticket I need to use. Yeah, we should do like find a little meetup something too. Maybe we can have our own little meetup out there in Washington, D.C. and show some strength in numbers there, right? Show some strength in numbers, something more than a dozen. Let's see. Karen says, I have 2 daughters in their 20s and we are planning to go. Yeah. All right. That would be nice too, if we can do that. Really show the power, especially we women coming out there and stuff like that too. That's good. Thank y'all so much for, saying that. TC DC is Tanya Carter, and I rocked with you from you for a long time. Yeah, I just changed my display name. Love y'all. Yes, that's right. Yeah, Tanya Carter been from back in the day. Yep. Whenever I go back over when I do the clips and stuff like that, and I'm seeing the comments that I was reading, I usually read comments that Tanya put on there from back in November and December, January, February, March, and April here. PM Chandler says Charlotte FBI completely dismissed the results of Mexico's autopsy. Why would Mexico list atlas luxation spine injuries if those injuries were not visible? How did Mexico come to that conclusion? Exactly. And like I said, I go from the original stuff that was out there, the original coroner's report, right? Not the police report and not that fake autopsy report. I go for the coroner's report because everybody gets a coroner's report. Everybody don't get an autopsy. Everybody does not receive an autopsy, but a coroner's report, yeah, right? So, exactly. Yes. All right. Sean says, what would be good to know is how long does a contusion on the head form? Yeah. TC DC says, God, my baby was born in 96 in North Carolina. Ooh, this is why this is close to my heart. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that. It was close to my heart. Like I said, I have a daughter. She recently turned 25 and, right in that little age group and stuff like that. And then, too, just to see the strategic, plan that was put out there, right? Knowing that they had every confidence that they were going to do this and get away with it, right? They're going to do this and get away with it. So, yeah, it does definitely hit close to home for a lot of people. And let me drop the link too if some more people want to come up and talk before we close out here. Anybody got something to say? Something to say about, and I see some of y'all saying y'all coming out here to Washington, D.C. to show the support. We got that right there. Let's see how these, there is the link to come up here. I'm gonna, I just dropped it. So for those of y'all who, going to Washington, D.C., we got that out there and want to come up and say something, click the link, come up, share your testimony, say what this has done for you, how you feeling about it, and why you feel the need to, go to Washington, D.C. Janet Jean says, but the AG in Mexico reported that the friends tried to cover up the death by staging a fall in the bathroom from her drinking too much alcohol. But the FBI don't know that. So, again, they had the body in different positions. If the doctor was there giving care, um, Mexico was vague about, the doctor. They said it was a man doctor who was, the doctor for the actual villa. And then this Wikipedia said, go back to this Catalina person who was supposedly the doctor there. All of them give stories that are unbelievable that a doctor would be any place, away from, a hospital rendering care for a patient for, hours at a time, highly unlikely, unless they're like stowed away on a desert island or something, you know. So Karen says, Ella Jessica B, thank you. I didn't do it, but I didn't know how to get her unhidden. Um, mm. All right. So thank y'all so much here. Janet says, the Mexican in me probably saw how the neck and head was and suspected the injury and did the x-ray to confirm it. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And that's how they were able to establish the time of death. All of the things that, you're supposed to find on the autopsy, the cause of death, and the manner. Cause and manner of death is part of the, elements that's needed on there. Cause and time of death, right? These things were not present on there, right? You see, other things, we're supposed to find out about this here chain of commandments and so chain of the chain of commandments and stuff like that. The source, all that. The chain of custody, verify the chain of custody for the body and evidence. Autopsy reports are only as reliable as the chain of custody for the body and evidence. If there are gaps in the chain of custody, or if there are inconsistencies in how the body and evidence were handled, it could indicate a fake report, right? So, yeah, so it's missing, a great deal of things. Missing a great deal of things. All right, hey, what's going on, Deborah? Deborah says 7 days ago, Natural Beauty RN by Lynn Media. Shanquella Robinson autopsy diagram reveals shocking injuries. Great. I forgot. I was not to say that. 7 days ago. All right, let's see here. If it's easily accessible, we may take a peek at it. Let's see here. All right, it says 7 days ago. Okay, we can look at. We haven't watched people's videos in a minute, and it's short. It's only 8 minutes. All right. Y'all want to see a video really quick? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to see this video titled Shanquella Robinson autopsy diagram reveals shocking injuries. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all up to for 8 minutes of this here video. Otherwise, we'll be calling it a night and see when I'll be back. Let me see what my schedule is. My calendar. Oh yeah, I got ones. All right, so let's go ahead and see this here. Like I said, it's only 8 minutes, so let's see. Oh wait. All right, here we go. Share. And then we could close out on this. And then don't be offended if I find bones in here and I start to rip. I don't know this person, Leela, Lynn, Media. I don't know. If there's some, don't be offended, y'all. Like I said, it's nothing personal, but yeah, I'm on the side of the truth always. So here we go. We got this here video.
Wanted to do a separate video looking at the diagram of the autopsy from Shanquella Robinson, because it is very telling. Like, there's a lot of information we've been missing in this case, but the autopsy, especially the diagram, I feel like it gives us a lot more information on what happened to Shanquella. In my first video, I shared with you
the one
the narrative
out here, the Layla, talking. It's a both. I mean, if the sound is good.
Given by the medical examiner in North Carolina, who basically said they were unable to determine a cause of death.
Yeah.
And when you look at the way Mexico handled her autopsy, they did a partial autopsy. The toxicology report, in my opinion, is incomplete because it doesn't include the ethanol results. Ethanol would be the chemical found in drinking alcohol. So with her friends, even though her friends are known to be liars, with them saying that she was drinking very heavily, to me, it would be important to include that information. But all they have is a note at the top saying so-and-so talked to so-and-so, and the report was negative. So to me, that's not credible.
No.
To me, that's not credible. And so if you want more details on what the medical examiner in North Carolina, the information they were going off of when they came to their conclusion, if you want that information, make sure you check out my first video. In this video, we're going to get into the diagram of Shanquella's body. I will say this, if this is too much for you, if you have like a sensitivity to this, I would suggest that you go on and watch a different video, because what I'm about to show you guys is shocking. It's shocking. And some of you guys I know suspected it. I suspected it as well, but I didn't want to say anything. But when they were talking about femicide, and femicide is when a woman is intentionally killed because of their gender, whether it's an expression of their gender, like they're pregnant, and so they're killed because they're pregnant, or maybe they're killed in the middle of a essay, or something to that effect where their gender is part of the reason that they are killed, is considered femicide. And so when I look at these images of Shanquella's body, and you see the abrasions, these scribbles that you see, this is the medical examiner drawing the abrasions. And when you look at the front of her body, her lower abdomen, like her bikini area, and you see all these abrasions, to me, it looks like essay, like attempted essay, like she is bruised and battered near her sexual organs. And I hate that. I hate that. It's like, this is just getting worse. This whole situation is like, it's just getting.
This just says MD line ABS ACL 1/4 to 2 1/4 inner medium, but it doesn't say what this is. This is just lines with measurements, but not indicating what this is. Okay, here says an abrasion. Abrasion to the thigh. I missed listen what she's saying.
Worse. But let's start from the top.
Yeah.
She does have this knot on her head. The medical examiner gave a narrative that maybe she hit her head. We don't know if she hit her head or if someone made her hit her head, because the way she's bruised here, first of all, it looks like a different altercation from the way Dejanay was fighting her. Dejanay was fighting her like a man, like she was throwing her body around the room, if you guys remember that video. And so that's different from the abrasions you see here. But we know that Shanquella was jumped. The video that was released was a clip. We all know that there were multiple videos. I don't know if those videos will ever see the light of day. But when this video came out with Dejanay, it was mentioned by the North Carolina Beat, I believe, that there were multiple videos. He was sent this one. but this was not the only one because she was jumped. And so, in my opinion, it looks like these abrasions are from a separate assault. It could have been by the same person, it could have been by somebody else, but just the way that they bruised.
Do y'all think that the family did not look at her body when they got it back? Do y'all think that because I didn't hear the family mention any of these kind of injuries, any kind of suspicion that, Shanquella had been sexually assaulted or any of that stuff. So I'm suspicious of these new injuries that seems to be trying to steer the listener into believing that Shanquella was sexually assaulted, that there were other attacks and all that stuff. So, I mean, if when they got the body back, I don't see how, if they had suspicions that it wasn't alcohol poisoning, that they wouldn't be looking her body over. Looking that body over with a fine-tooth comb. And I don't see how they would not have noticed abrasions and bruises and all of that stuff. Okay. Melanie says, I think they just saw her face. And I could see that too, because, I don't know. I would think that somebody would be like, somebody get the courage to go in there and look at, her body to see what's going on. Like her mother, her sister would have, put the eyes on her body. Yeah. All right. But, like I said, I go back and forth between, because I know how, a lot of times people don't necessarily really look at all of, the person's body, that they just may look at the face. However, the reason why I'm thinking like, maybe they would have looked a little bit more is because of the suspicion that something happened. And then when they saw the attack video. So, y'all let me know what y'all think. Get in these comments over here. See, Janice says, this is why the FBI was supposed to investigate all of the Cabo 6 to explain how Shanquella Robinson got all those injuries. Yeah, if she got any. Janet says, I believe that after they saw her face, they didn't look at the rest of her body. Yeah, I can see that too. Like I said, who wants to uncover the nakedness of, of a loved one, especially a deceased loved one? So, that's why I asked too, to see, to see. But I don't know. I think like maybe her mom or her sister may have, would have been okay to pull the covers back to see what her, body looks like. I don't know. That's like I said, I'm torn between it. I'm really torn between it. The Jessica says that Janet, right. Really interrogate them. Yeah. Diane says, Mr. Robinson said after they opened the casket, he almost passed out. Yeah, at first glance, and couldn't take no more. Yep. Yeah. That's true. And that's why, yeah, that's a good one there. Yeah. It's highly possible. RN, the family was able to view her body. They didn't comment in the first press conference. Yeah. I'm I'm saying, Karen, I feel you on that. Like I don't know. I can see how they could just take a peek at the face and not want to see anymore, because it's not that easy to, see the person. The only reason why I was thinking that, they may have looked was because of the questioning of what actually happened. See, hey Sharon. Sharon says, hi RN and beauties. Hey, hey. Yeah, okay, so let's go and get back. We this one is not too long, but
bruised her. It looks like SA to me. So I'm going to read you the description of it from the autopsy. We'll start with the lines you see. The straight up and down lines, those are described as patterned, horizontally oriented abrasions extending across the lower abdomen and around to the right flank lower back area. Now, the thing about it is, the dotted line you see in the picture looks like it represents the person's genitals, right? So it looks like it's right above her genitals. So you see in the autopsy, the text of the autopsy, they don't use the word genitals. They just keep saying lower abdomen, upper thigh, and lower abdomen. But they say in the lower abdomen, there's the pattern abrasions. So whatever bruised her had some type of pattern to it. We don't know what it was, but it had some type of pattern. And you can also see on the posterior, you can see that same pattern. The bruises right below that on what I would call like I guess you would say the upper genital area, those are described as multiple irregular geographical abrasions along the bilateral lower abdomen and upper anterior thighs. That's what looks like SA to me. That's what looks like SA to me. I have to be honest.
Bruising on your thighs look like SA? And lower abdomen? Like, I mean, I don't see how bruising on your thighs would indicate a SA. Wouldn't it be like some type of vaginal tear or something like that? Like, how would I don't get that. Or even abrasions on the abdomen, like, vagina is usually, could be something. It wouldn't, the abdomen, like, the Jessica says at RN, seems like rumors because they would definitely have said something. Yeah. 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 Janice says, but I have always said that something happened before and after that video. And I always thought that one or more of the guys raped her. Yeah. Lena says, that drawing of the genitals remind me of a picture of a scene from The Exorcist and statue of Virgin Mary with man parts. All right, let's finish hearing what she's talking about here. But I mean, these injuries to me, like, I don't see how that indicates an SA.
With you guys, that's what looks like SA to me. And it makes you wonder at this point, did she have on a bottom? Were they trying to get her bottom off? Because it's like right above her genital area and her, it's also on her upper thighs and on her hip. It just makes you wonder, like, what type of fight was this? Then as you can see on the other side, her arms are also scratched up. Also, when you look at the top of her body, they mention the abrasions that are on her arms. And again, we see her forehead.
So why wouldn't the family have mentioned the scratches and all this stuff on her arms, right? And then how would they say it's inconclusive when there's obviously signs of, injuries there? Like this, I don't believe any of this stuff. This is, and then if they say they didn't get on the case until the 18th, this here, saying the 17th, and then she's being buried, 2 days later? And the people don't know nothing about these scratches and stuff on her arm. Like, I don't know, man.
The knot on her forehead, the scratches on her cheek. Her eye is also, there's a blood vessel that bursted.
Scratches on her cheek. The family mentioned the knot on the head, you know, they would have said, why they say nothing about these scratches on the cheek, scratches on the arm? I don't see not even her sister saying, you know, Mama, I understand you don't want to look at the body. I'm looking. Somebody would have had the strength in the family to say, I'm checking the body. Let me see what else they did to her. I don't see this being, you know, gotten away with, especially arms and stuff. This isn't, you know, this area would have been okay to view. Like, I don't see, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Even the people at the funeral home would have been like, hey man, Bernard, hey, look here, you know, your daughter's body got, you know, somebody would have, you know, because they chose the funeral home and stuff. I just don't see the people in there, you know, the mortician not saying, hey, y'all aware about, you know what I mean? Especially when at the time when he was receiving the body at the funeral home, you know, broke him down to see all these other bruises. I don't see how the, you know, the funeral people wouldn't have been like, oh, but you know, when we was dressing her, we found this. They would have been forthcoming with all of these injuries. Look at this description with all these marks and scratches. You know what I mean? Y'all don't think that the funeral home would have expressed this to the family? And see, Sharon says, thought they advised us not to view my daughter's body. Oh, though they advised us not to view my daughter's body, I couldn't really view my daughter. I couldn't take it knowing the condition I was told she was in. Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Sharon was up here, you know, and gave her testimony. You know, she lost a daughter, you know, and so, and that's why I'm like, you know, still going back and forth because, you know, we here talking about it, we'd be like, yeah, I know I would be looking the body up and down, all this stuff. But again, when you're in those shoes and, you know, it's a good, you know, it could possibly be that you know, don't look. I'm just thinking that the guy at the funeral home, when he's just saw that, you know, the dad was all torn apart to see that the body did have some facial injuries on there. I don't see, and then, you know, saying that they're, you know, trying to get some investigation, some help. I don't see them to, you know, handle the body and not, you know, say something like, yeah, look at all this abuse on this body here. I don't see us now 5 months later finding out about it, right? This, yeah. All right, let's see.
In her eye. And you can see from her back, she was on her back fighting. And we saw in the original video, like she didn't want to fight. She was being assaulted. I shouldn't even say fighting. She was being assaulted. And she said she didn't want to fight back. Like she's not a fighter. So you can see where she has all these abrasions on her back, like she was on her back being assaulted. Now, they also mentioned her fingernails. They said her fingers and her toes had white nail polish, but by the time North Carolina got to see her body, the white nails, her fingernails had been clipped because they were evaluated in Mexico. And all that was determined that was underneath her fingernails was some type of ink.
This is more speculation. And they didn't say, they said they did scrapings, right? So that means they scraped under there. And again, why would they have done all this stuff, you know, back in Mexico when they originally said that it, you know, no. The death certificate, the coroner's report listed none of these things. I believe the coroner's report. The coroner did not have any dog in the fight in this whole thing, right? The coroner's report that came out, you know, to describe this stuff and gave the cause of death, time and cause of death. It's the report to listen. Jessica says, "Who is this RN? She is clearly not qualified to break this autopsy down." Yeah, I agree with you. This was somebody just shot this up in here.
She has some type of ink underneath her fingernails. So this gives us more insight into what happened to Shanquella.
How?
It's extremely unsettling. The way this investigation has been handled is unsettling. And I feel like seeing the visual representation of her body, it brings up even more questions of what happened to her. Like I said, it looks like
How do you get, from a SA, how do you get bruising here? What did they do? Like jump on top? How are you getting bruises on your abdomen and your, hip area up here? How is this area being bruised? If you were being sexually assaulted, that would, what did they do? Like, how is bruising here an indication of an SA?
SA, that's my opinion, but it just brings up more questions. What really happened to her? What caused all these abrasions, these bruises on her body, in her bikini area? Like, it brings up more questions, but I don't know that we'll get more answers. I don't know that we'll get more answers, but leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this information. As always, thanks for watching.
All right, so okay, that was that there. I don't agree with yeah, I don't agree with that I don't think they I think it's lies. Yeah. I go for, believing the coroner's report that was put out there, when the thing first happened. Sharon says, must have been some very rough essay. Shaking my head. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't get how you would get bruises there. Anyway, TCDC says, sorry, night all, as I have to get up early. RN in the chat, love y'all and your thoughtful thinking. Love this channel as of you focus on math and science and smart thinking. Good night. Yes. And that's how we're going to keep doing this. Being smart about our thinking. Let's see here. It says the picture tells the whole story. Yeah. I'm just saying, these little new injuries and stuff like that, they're just so horrific. I don't see how nobody in the family would have, known about that. Yeah. Yeah. Good night to you, Tanya. We see you on the next one. Sharon says, hi, beauties. Look like a few of us forgot to hit the like button. 43, 47 in the chat. Yeah. Thank y'all so much for hitting the like button. Karen says, they said they wanted to know what the group did to her because of the extreme injuries to her body. The family asked if she was thrown down some stairs. Janet says, that's my point about the North Carolina, Emmy. Why would you know all those injuries and don't recommend further investigations? Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody they're making themselves look incompetent. You're going to know all these injuries, but you can't conclude on, we got swollen brain, all these abrasions and, yeah. Something is wrong. Yes, something is definitely wrong. Sharon says, yes, one of my other family members volunteered to view my daughter's body. But like I said, the morgue told us they advised us not to. Now that I think of it, I believe it was part of the cover up. Yeah. But again, like I said, here she's saying that another family member volunteered, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like somebody would have volunteered to be like, hey, Salamandra, I got this. Let me just go in there and look. Oh, hey, Bernard, even the mortician people would have felt some type of something to say, hey, man, we saw this. something. I'm not sure if the family know this here was there. Especially once the video and all that stuff was out, I don't see how those injuries would have went unchecked or unnoticed. I don't see it. Yeah, cover up for sure. RN, per the funeral home, they did notice those extensive injuries. Oh, okay. All right. I don't remember that. Thank you, Karen, for putting that out there. Per the funeral home. She said, how? Yes. Which corner do you believe? Those diagrams are from the North Carolina corner. I'm talking about the Mexican corner report that first came out that indicated the severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation and 15-minute lifespan, life expectancy. All that matches up. All that adds up. The rest of this stuff does not add up. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up that they would notate all of these injuries, but then say inconclusive as far as a cause of death. Yeah. Ariane, did you see the new interview with the mom and sister? The sister said the autopsy report said she was suffocated. No, I didn't see that. Now I can see them saying the suffocation because with the broken neck and not breathing, so technically you go from lack of oxygen, so it could be considered suffocation. Let's see here. Truly very good point. Yes. All right. So that is the end of our little comments here. Thank y'all so much for coming out. I know things have been kind of dying out here with this whole YouTube thing, to where it's only a few of us coming out for these meetings and all that stuff, when in the past used to have quite a few people coming out here and stuff like that. But I'm still moving forward and doing the thing. And thanks for all the other people who saying they're coming out to Washington, D.C. Maybe we could do lunch or something like that, have a little meeting up of the minds and all that good stuff. See, y'all got some more stuff. Thanks, Ariane and chat, for the love tonight. Oh, yeah, you're so welcome. Big hug and big love to you. And love to the family, too. Exactly, Ariane. Yes. All right, so thank y'all so much, and I'll let y'all know when the next one. It's my weekend to work, so I probably try to do some daytime stuff, because I work nights. Let's see. Sharon said, I listened to mom and daughter. Didn't hear that. However, I could have missed it. Oh, about the suffocation? Yeah. I'm just saying, we saw, we match up our injuries like that. Yes, my new friend. Okay, I'm loving y'all on this. Oh, what's this about some TMZ? I'm sharing the interview on TMZ. TMZ, oh, I know they don't let nobody share their information. But anyway, I'll let y'all know when we getting back together. But yeah, so keep up the good work. Love y'all and see y'all in another video.